in the region who are doing the same thing, and this is why Snapchat is so special to them, to me, and to this room, which seems to be passionate about our app. Oh. Well, somebody's recording there. So as I said, we have tens of thousands of creators from every single country sharing a very different type of storytelling that you can find on other apps. The most authentic, the most relatable, and I really stress on the word relatable because the reason why people are so passionate about creators on our app, and especially in this region, is because when they watch the stories of their favorite creators, they feel like it's their friend, that they could be part of their community, they feel like they understand the person because it is real. So I wanted to take a little step back here and go back to Snap's mission. What is Snap's mission today? Snap, the mission is to enhance real relationships between friends, family, and the world, and be a place where you can really share yourself. We often say in the company that you're going to keep your very perfect, most beautiful, most edited, trendiest content, which is perhaps 1% of what you have in your camera roll for other apps. On Snap, we're more than happy to host 99% of everything else that's in your camera because that's actually what people want to see. We know how a filter can make you feel, how edited a video can be, but if you're going to share all the in-between moments, what's really imperfect but perfect at the same time, that is where Snap is different, and that explains why people are so passionate about it. And something that I want to add as well is that majority of the people, and I'm sure you will relate to this, will come to Snap first and foremost to speak to their family, their friends, and then they'll stay on the app to watch their favorite creators' content on the 4th tab and on the 5th tab with Spotlight, and we'll dive into that in a little bit. So as I said, you have a platform to be beautiful, you have a platform to be trendy, you have a platform to spend, to post, the most edited content. Well, on Snap, you can be your realist. And I also wanted to explain a little bit about what we mean by when you're on Snap, you can be your realist self. It really is almost like an antidote to social media. Our community, our creators, they can communicate without the pressure of appearing popular, of appearing perfect. And this is why people love to come on Snap and connect. Creators can post some of their most authentic stories, and thanks to the tools that we have in the app, we can also connect directly with our community. I hope, and I'm sure that everybody in the room has already used story replies, maybe with her favorite creator or getting an answer from a member of our community, and that's a really cool way to communicate. There is no news feed on Snap, there are no likes, there are no comments, so you almost feel like when you're interacting with a community as a creator or as the community towards the creator, that you're communicating with a friend, and I think that's really powerful today. And I also wanted to share some numbers. Numbers are always important. 60% of Gen Z Snapchatters are following a creator today on Snap. And 35 billion monthly Snap Store content views is another really astonishing number to us. So imagine the potential for creators, for people who want to become creators, and most importantly for brands. This is incredible. But let me stop speaking and let's hear about some of our most inspiring creators on the platform today and how they're using Snap in the way that I've just explained, because there's nothing more powerful to us to listen to our community and see how they're using the app. Let's welcome Noha, Nabil, and Ahmad Aburob. Noha, you can sit in the middle. Thank you.
I did something.
You No, you did something. Fine.
Sorry.
I don't think you did anything.
I think I missed the.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this is
No, I
Snapchat.
didn't.
It's for real moment. Nothing is perfect. You know? So before we dive into the panel, I want to give you a little bit of information on each of our panelists. Noha. Noha Nabil, she has over 20 million followers across platforms. So like a few countries are actually following her. She's a Kuwaiti multi-business owner. She founded Noha Nabil Beauty, 1111 Fashion, Retrouvailles Paris. I'm saying it to a French accent after all. And in 2017, she was listed by Forbes amongst the top 10 most influential Arab women. And she also is one of the very first Snap stars. And Nina, I think you were top 10 of your verified account back in...
Yes. When the verification was not as the way we are familiar with it now.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, I think, within the
Absolutely, it's a good anecdote. And Ahmad Aburob, he's from Jordan. He's a content creator, vlogger, business owner of the Content Factory. I actually love the name, strong brand. He has more than 17 million followers across social media. So with the two of you guys, we almost have 40 million followers. I mean, that's insane. Ahmed loves to share entertaining lifestyle videos from fun challenges to exciting experiences. And you may have seen some of his content from the match that he took part of this weekend in Doha with some international creators. I don't speak Arabic, but I thought they were very funny and self-explanatory.
Thank you.
And before we go into the first question, I think I also want to add a few points as to how rich the GCC region is when it comes to creators, Snap stars, and all of the content that we're doing here. Snapchat is visited over 40 times a day in the GCC. Can you imagine 45 times, making it the most frequently used app throughout the day. I guess for those who are based here, you might not be surprised about this, but it's a staggering number, and it's also thanks to people like you, Noha, and you, Ahmed, that people keep coming back to see what you're up to. So as I said, 40 million followers in the room here, but both of you actually have a very different journey on Snap, and how and when you got started. So my first question would be, how and when did you start your journey as a creator on Snapchat? And can you tell us a little bit about your early experiences on the platform? And ladies first, so Noha, can you please...
Thank you, Julie. Let me just take this opportunity to thank you guys for being a part of this summit today. And I'm honored to be a part of such a huge event, which makes me so proud as well. It's been held for the first time in the Middle East, in our beloved country, Qatar, the city of Doha, who is, mashallah, making us very proud as Arab and GCC influencers and citizens. The story of Snapchat, where do we start? Before Snapchat, I was actually using different kind of platforms for 5 years, introducing myself as this fashion influencer who loves fashion. I would take my own pictures, I would set the timer of my phone and run and just pose in front of it and take the picture and post it on different blogs. I used to use Blogspots, then a fashion app called Chictopia. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I think it doesn't exist anymore. Then I created my own blog, my own website. Then Instagram was introduced. I started my passion on Instagram. I always felt there is something missing. People don't know the person behind the
We didn't pay her for that, by the way.
Well, I always thought that there's something missing. They would see a picture and they would assume things about you. I remember those rumors were what was she? Is she married to a prince or a rich person, or what's the story behind this person? And they would think you're mean, or you're showing off, or you're trying to be someone who you're not. And even when they introduced the idea of these 15 seconds videos, I always thought 15 seconds are not enough. they need to see me, see the person behind the picture. I wasn't first introduced to Snapchat when it was really misunderstood. Like there was these allegations or things or reputation about Snapchat. It's not for anyone, but it's crazy. You can do whatever you want and it will disappear in 25 hours. So I loved the idea. I was like, okay, let's download it. It was February 2014 and I developed a good following on Instagram, but not everyone loves me, They would follow me just because they're curious. Then I started, I downloaded Snapchat. I remember the first thing, the camera opens in your face, and that's maybe something different in this app. It shows you, so be you. And I remember talking for 10 minutes. At the beginning, Snapchat was only 10 seconds. So you had to go through sentences, 10 seconds, showing my boring life. It was just boring. I was in a scholarship, taking care of 2 kids. And I thought people would not relate, but it would be nice because they would see once again the person behind the picture. And something magical happened. People fell instantly in love with that character on Snapchat.
Because you were yourself.
It was amazing, and for the first time ever, people got to know who really Noha Nabil is. Because before I was only this TV persona and this fashion blogger. They don't know the real person, And on Snapchat, I got this opportunity to show how crazy and goofy I can be one day. Imitate voices and play with my kids and share a bad recipe, bad cooking recipe. And people loved it and felt related. And that's when I realized this is going to be a whole new level of, content creating for me. And I got obsessed. It started like that.
And now you have, 7 million followers, I think.
Almost 7 million. Yes.
That's huge.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because people loved it. I think that the main key, people felt related. It's genuine for the first time and it's different.
And you've been on Snap for 10 years.
10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
OG.
We've been apart, and I was blogging every single day within those 10 years. Can you imagine? My whole life was spent on Snapchat. But I don't regret it because people got to live with me every single day, the goods and bads, the laughter and the cry, the tears. They've been through it all, and you don't realize it until you meet people. You're like, I felt bad for you the other day. Oh, I love your son. Oh, I love the perfume you used. Oh, they are part of your daily life.
Little things in between.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so relatable and so close. It's a close bond with them.
I think, Ahmed, you had a bit of a different experience on Snap.
Actually, I want to thank you for choosing very, very different, very different angles.
Yeah, it's important.
It's I'm totally different. I'm on the other side. Firstly, I want to thank everyone for coming. Inshallah, it's a very full room. And the thing that no one knows about me is, I started on YouTube in 2018. This channel, I've been trying to do content since I was 12 years old. And in between my failed YouTube channels, I would, there's some sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps put your mic a little bit.
Like this.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Try.
Yeah. So in between my failed approaches with YouTube, I would use Snapchat, and it was the reason I came back to content in 2018. That was the reason, because I used to do stories with my friends, and my friends would tell me, "Oh, you're good with the stories. You should try to make videos. You should try to blog." And even now, if I go back to my memories, I can go back till 2013. It's full of weird things. I never go back there, but it exists. And then, thankfully, my YouTube career started, and I started doing videos on YouTube, and I focused there with my full energy. And then I came back to Snapchat very recently because obviously it became monetized, and yeah.
No, I mean, it's
So honest.
it's important, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well.
You hear the truth, right? Yeah. So it attracted me, the monetization thing, and I can connect with my people, with my fans in a very human way, and they can actually reply to my stories, and I just love this feature. This is the feature that makes me post stories. It's they can reply, and I can reply with with a video very quickly. And
Actually, it's funny you say that because a lot of creators who have been on Snap or who are coming back to Snap sometimes are not aware of that feature, and especially in Europe. And when they see the amount of story replies, they're like, oh my god, wow, so many answers.
yeah, this is the best feature for me. I just love that feature. And because I have a very weird relationship with my followers, they just keep making fun of me. And because they keep making fun of me, I just reply with a story. And it's a nice relationship over on Snapchat. And it's a very intimate, a close relationship. And yeah, and obviously Spotlights is the best. I'm posting so much on Spotlights.
Yeah, we'll talk about that now actually. As you said, you both use Snapchat in a very different way. And there are a number of opportunities today to create content on Snapchat. The app has changed a lot, from stories to Spotlight, with story replies, which I always tell creators to use as a focus group almost, because you can see what people are most passionate about when they check your content. For example, you, Ahmed, were saying you share lifestyle videos, taking your followers on holiday, even to your football matches. And you know how, just like last night, I saw you were sharing stories on your new collection and that new ensemble you've been put together, which is really nice. So you're both using it in different ways, but to promote your business as well. So my question to you both is, when you decide what content to create and share, how do you actually navigate between stories and Spotlight? And maybe, Ahmed, you want to start because you just mentioned Spotlight.
So, all right. So for me, my YouTube videos obviously have been like all kinds of weird experiences that I do. And like in my last video, I bought eggs from the supermarket and I hatched them. And I got like little chicks out of them. So yeah, that's an actual video I made. So when I do this video, YouTube is very retention based. I have to be very accurate with all my seconds. I can't be really myself as much, and I can't just be myself and show the whole thing. So I use Snapchat to show my real experience, like the human side of it, and for Spotlights, I make like weird small experiences in between the big experiences I make, and the Spotlights I just cover those. So it's like my daily life on the stories and some small piece of content on the Spotlight.
You do the same?
For me, it took a while to understand how spotlights work, and I remember calling Ali like, I'm going crazy. How to make it for this? Because I'm used to Snapchat being Snapchat, just the first platform that introduced stories and creating stories. Then I realized with time that Spotlight can be just a short, fun way to deliver a message within a minute. And the shorter the better, because you have 3 seconds to attract people. So they either continue watching the video or they just swap to the next video. And I learned that with time, by watching other Snapchatters and by asking questions and digging, because I'm used to the extended version of delivering the message, talking to people for minutes and minutes. And I think this is now, I'm trying to master that game of differentiating. If I want, let's say, to introduce a concept of how make the perfect eyeliner, I have to create a video that's 50 seconds or less that delivers the message in a very quick, effective way. While I can have the extended tutorial on Snapchat as a daily story. I wake up in the morning, I prepare my skin, and they see the whole process. And I think each and every one of them has its own effectiveness somehow.
Actually, it's funny you say that because a lot of people will ask me, is Spotlight the same as other apps where you have to edit a lot in order to post on there? And sometimes you just have to test and learn. We don't always have all the answers. And what we've noticed is that on Spotlight, what actually works well is also the imperfect moment, but a moment that can stay in time.
Exactly.
So, for example, I'll just add that before we get to the next question, because I think you made a great point here. Fashion bloggers, sometimes they do videos on the streets and they're perfect. But sometimes people will just pass by or they'll look at them in a funny way. And that's actually what people want to see on Snap. They don't want the perfect video of their outfit. They want to see everything in between. And that's the type of content that can actually last on Spotlight. So just a little advice here, if there's any fashion bloggers in the
You will
room.
feel it. With time, you will have the sense when you're creating your story. If there is this moment, this magical moment in your stories, I immediately send it to spotlights. Because, one of them, I was covering a jewelry exhibition last month. I've been trying different pieces. They're all beautiful, but there was this weird piece of jewelry that's so heavy. It was taller than me. It was like 1.5 meters. I was like, this is a spotlight moment. So, so I took a video, guys, this is the tallest Maria in the world that ever created. Maria is like this piece of jewelry, very traditional. And it went viral on Spotlight. So with time, you will master that. You know where is the Spotlight moment if you don't want to create a video especially for Spotlight.
So let's talk a little bit about your creative process, actually. Great segue. Noha, you're known for your cosmetics line, your fashion line, your perfume brands. Ahmad, you own for your content creation company, The Content Factory, and you're known for your product reviews, your challenges, as well as your adventures that are keeping your audience on the edge of their seats. I don't understand Arabic, well, try, but I've watched it for myself, and I absolutely love them. My first question is for you, Noha. Can you tell us how you plan actually your videos and walk us through the creative process a little bit, if you don't mind?
Videos on Snapchat?
Yes.
I don't plan anything.
Oh, you don't plan anything?
It's unplanned.
Right.
Because I think the moment you plan it, خلاص, it will lose the spontaneously effect, and it's this yummy flavor, of creating spontaneous stories. I start my day in the morning, and sometimes it goes up, it goes down. Sometimes I'm in a good mood, I'm in a bad mood. Sometimes, and I share it all.
So you just post everything. You don't have a cadence.
Yeah.
Or
No.
days where it dedicates.
I think planning kills the excitement, and the best stories I created were unplanned. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, perfect. No pun intended. And Ahmed, I think you ran a little bit. I have the
Yeah,
feeling you
obviously,
do.
I'm the
Yeah.
exact
He has the
opposite.
YouTube background, that's why.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm kind of a nerd and a geek, so I'm I just can't. I have to plan everything. But the exact moments of the stories, like the Snapchat stories, I don't even plan them. It's mostly I want to plan, I'll travel to some country, and then in this country I'll shoot 2 experiences for my YouTube, and then my other days are my daily life is on Snapchat. And I just set myself up for whatever happens with me. And that's the way I do it. And it's not much.
We're saying before how both of you have more than 37 million followers. This number is crazy. Could you tell us a little bit more about what are the topics, even though yes, you are very, you said in Noha, you just post whatever comes through your mind, but are there things that work better on Snapchat versus other platforms? Because how do you get to these numbers, what do you think contributed to your growth on Snap in terms of formats or topics?
Yeah, so as I said, I started quite recently on Snapchat, but my views is quite high. I'm getting around 100 to 200,000 views. I think the reason I'm getting those numbers is because I'm showing the side that I don't even show on other social media. It's my real self, my real problems, my real life, and it's not polished at all. And it's just whatever, I just post my life. On other platforms, you have to think twice, and on Instagram, you can post more than 2-3 stories per day. Versus on Snapchat, you have to post maybe 50 or plus stories. So, in that sense, you can show your real life on Snapchat. You don't have to even think about it. You don't have to polish it. You don't have to do nothing. And I think that's why people watch me on YouTube and see this guy and whatever he does, and they don't know who am I. The real person behind the camera. And I think that's why. I'm familiar with, they know my face, and maybe they're curious seeing my real life.
You feel like your personality comes across better, not better, but more obvious on Snap?
I think I'm more relatable. I'm more of a human being. On YouTube, you see me traveling and buying all those expensive equipment and going. Maybe they think I'm some millionaire or something on YouTube. But when you see my life, okay, he's a normal human being. I relate with him. He's just normal. He has problems. Yeah.
But I think that's so powerful right now because so many young people look to creators and they think, oh my God, I want to be that, but they don't always understand that it takes, first of all, a lot of work, a lot of guts, a lot of work. And
So when you see creators on YouTube, like for me, if you see me only on YouTube, you're kind of overwhelmed. Like, you don't want to try this. It looks like so much work. It's so all the animation and all the traveling, all the equipment. You're like, okay, this needs a very powerful person just to start it. But when you see me on Snapchat, okay, he's a normal human being. He just started slowly. He grew slowly. It's more relatable. It's more human.
it's inspiring, I would say. Almost.
It is.
Yeah. What about you, Noha?
I think same here. Relatable content is the key on Snapchat. Once again, going back to the start, when I used to post these perfect pictures on Instagram wearing high heels while being like 8 months pregnant, people were like questioning. But then when they saw on Snapchat that I was actually after the picture taking off the heels and like going to the kitchen, washing my face, wearing my pajamas, start cooking for the kids, they would know perfection doesn't exist. And so this is more relatable once again. And when you understand that, you will attract people that look like you and feel like you and feel that they relate to you, and you start creating content that looks like them more. And with time, you will understand your audience. And now I know I'm followed by, 6.3 million or 6.4 million. 80% of them are women. I know the age now, so I know the messages that we can deliver. I know the problems that we share, so I try to tackle them. Yes, my life is unscripted and my stories were unscripted, but I love also, and I think this is why my snaps got popular at the beginning, to tackle things in the society that were not tackled before, like breastfeeding. It was a topic that's so sensitive in the Middle East. Nobody would talk about it. And I took the opportunity on Snapchat to introduce it and share tips and teach them how to do it. And they were like, for the first time ever, someone dares to talk about that, and like how to prepare for labor and what's after. And I started gaining the trust and building the credibility. They felt like this is an older sister talking to them, no boundaries, no filters, nothing. This is the beauty of Snapchat once again. You can create content that's so relatable. People would see the real you.
I want to add something. Being relatable is like a very important thing for creators, especially when you reach the high numbers. People will stop relating with you. They'll think you're some alien. When you see someone with millions of followers, you don't he's something else, right? Unreachable.
Yeah.
He's something else. They think he's very rich and powerful and whatever. And then all creators, even the bigger ones, I've been in the Match of Hope like a week ago. We were next to Drogba, Kaka, Hazard, all the big names and the legends of football. They're all very normal human beings. We are all the same, even the bigger ones, the richest of us, the more famous ones, we're all the same. We're all the same human. And this is very important to tell the people, because if you think something is so big, it's so huge, it's very hard for you to reach it. And even in the world of content creation, we need so many more creators. We need more people to make content. The Arab world is very needy of content. So yeah, it's very powerful what Snapchat does to the society.
Wow, that's a great quote right here. Noha, I want to jump on what you said about showing the real side of motherhood and not posing with your kids for pretty pictures to sort of make it seem like it's like this every day, when actually that picture perhaps took 3 hours to take. Do you also, how can I put this? Do you also find insights for your businesses when you see your community reactions to all of that content? Or do you use it to feed your businesses? Yeah?
Definitely. Yeah, since day one, I used to post reviews that are unpaid or unsponsored for products that I've been using at home or things that I purchased on eBay or Amazon. And I think this builds this credibility. And now, owning a makeup brand, a clothing line, a perfume, it's an instant way to know the feedback, and I love that. Like, I know what my audience want by just posting a question. What do you like in a foundation? And thousands, and I don't want to exaggerate, like thousands over like maybe 24 hours, but let's say like instantly I would get tens of comments and reviews and answers to that question. This engagement is very important. It makes me, it gives me this ability to tailor the next product for them. And this is what Noha Nabil Beauty is based on. Like as a makeup brand, it's all based on people's reviews. What do you like in a foundation? What do you like in an eyeliner? How do you like, my next product to be? What do you think we should launch? What do you think is missing? And you get it instantly. I love this, I love that. Customer service is this, saving points are that. So and based on that, we create the strategy. For now, this is the fastest and the most effective way to get the feedback from your clients and customers and target audience.
Because we're almost like your friends. We see you as a friend.
And they will not say it just like that. It would be an honest review. We hate that, we love this, and this is helpful. It helps you grow.
We've talked a lot about what makes Snap so wonderful for you. I also want to be real here and talk a little bit about challenges. Have you ever encountered any challenges on Snap? And if so, how have you overcome them?
So for me, we were talking about this before this session, and I think my real life is not as beautiful as it should be, and I don't think sometimes I think it's not worth showing to the people. But because I'm a YouTuber, I'm a creator, I'm always writing content, editing content, doing this, doing that. It's all so rough and so ugly. But then apparently, when I post my process, people like it.
Apparently, I can confirm that they do.
They do like it.
They just want to see your life, man. It's nothing. You don't have to think about it at all. I know we don't all have this lifestyle, this lavish lifestyle, and all the houses and the cars and the dresses and everything. I don't. Even though I'm surrounded by this society, I don't. I just have the normal car with a normal house with a normal life, and even that is pretty much worth shooting. It's just your normal life. You don't have to do anything special.
I remember one of the challenges where, when I started Snapchat, we were you could count us in one hand. We were 5 mainly Snapchatters in the region. Now there are thousands of them, and within that 10 years journey, I had my downs. I had those doubts. Can I sustain this? The competition is getting harder and harder and harder. And there are new influencers every day, and they're creating content every day, and their life is more interesting, and there are more things. They're more beautiful. There are more things. There are more things to be delivered than given. But I think the faith, that I had and that kept me moving was I still have the same following base, and it's only growing. I started with let's say 50,000, and now they are 6, and until last month they were 6 million, and they were growing. So that means, yes, the competition is high, but consistency and giving time and investing in the content you're creating, in these stories, actually works. So yes, you will have your doubts, and you will have those moments where you're tired, you don't want to do this anymore.
And the views sometimes go low.
Yes, it happens to the best of us. Some days, you create the best stories and they disappear, and you don't think they got the exposure that you wish they would get. But it's fine, tomorrow is another day, another opportunity. Let's create more stories. And I always think this is the key.
Great advice.
This is the key. Consistency, believing in yourself, and even the most boring parts in your life that you think are boring, someone would be interested to watch, trust me. The biggest stories that people were like, oh, we loved you back then, when you were just cooking at home and feeding your kids and shooting your kids playing with makeup over their faces. I would never think in 100 years this would be interesting to anyone. It's just a housewife's daily life. But people would be interested, because sometimes with this overwhelming world that we live in, these simple details can be warming to your heart. So despite what you go through, consistency is the key, always.
Actually, you make a really good point, because earlier on we were having a conversation with Ahmed about the content you post on Snap, and I think that when you start posting, don't just put one story on a Monday or another one the next week. One story is not going to get your community attached to you, because they will see you as a friend. So the more you post, the more attached you become to a person. And if you want to give it a try, if you want to become a creator or at least explore that, I would probably sit down at the end of the day, look at all the content you've captured during that day, photos, videos, which for you are probably meaningless, but for people who are looking to get to know you better, they actually mean a lot. And that's when you start posting, and that's when you start testing, and that's how you see how your community respond to some stuff. And as Noha said, like even with her millions of followers, sometimes her views are a little bit lower than our days, and it doesn't really matter because she's going to continue posting and she's going to continue growing. And I think that's really is the key to
I
success.
think the most important thing is having fun when you do it.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressured. Don't feel pressured, because I've seen like so many influencers or new people in this, like how did you make it? How do you plan your day? What's the script? What's the scenario? There's no script, no scenario, no special recipe. Just be yourself, enjoy it, have fun, maybe capture those beautiful moments you have in your day and highlight them more. This is the key. That's it.
One thing I want to add is never do anything for the views, because if you don't get the views then you will feel very bad. And trust me, I've tried. I tried it way too much, and whenever you do something for the views and you don't get the views, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So just do whatever you like, and then you wouldn't care because you like it, you know?
Views will come.
Well, my last question was going to be, what's your advice for the room? I think they already addressed that. So I want to say thank you so much, Noha. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, do you have a chance to ask questions?
We can take questions after, if you don't mind.
I'm here.
Because we'll have to free the
Just
room.
one question. We need to know the turning points. The time you say, wow, this is really amazing. What is the secret that you become very friend to the algorithm? What is the thing that we need to know? Everybody know. Everybody do whatever you do. Everybody start to create, content every day, post, do everything. But there is no view. I need to know when is the turning point for
Your question is when, like
no, turning point. The time you notice that,
Things are
this is
changing.
really amazing. So I'm going to copy this formula from today, and it will, bump all this view that I need. So I need to move this.
So for Snapchat, definitely for me, is creating engaging stories, and one, engagement, people comment and they share the story, that's one thing. Second thing is people should watch the story to the end, if it's engaging enough for them to watch it to the end. And people on Snapchat, they don't have very high standards for whatever they watch. I mean, if it's only mildly amusing, they will watch it. And having people watching your story fully, that will give you all the, it will share your story more with the people and on the explore page on Snapchat.
So this is the formula.
So one,
Yeah.
very engaging stories, people comment and people share. And you can use the tools there. There's a poll, the poll tool is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so many people don't know about it.
Or you
There's
can repost some of your story replies to really
yeah,
deepen that
yeah,
engagement.
and if you repost, reply to the people, the replies. If you repost the replies, people will feel like they wanna comment more, so you can reply to them, right? So engaging stories and retention, making stories very engaging so people will watch till the end.
I will add to that, like using the Snapchat camera as well. And when I've seen it, when I post something from camera roll, so filtered, so edited, so perfect, people don't like it. They want it raw, they want it natural, they want like using Snapchat camera, shaking or no, it doesn't matter, because they will feel that you capture the moment on the spot. It's not pre-edited to be introduced to them. And I think that's the beauty of Snapchat.
I think it's the algorithm itself. When you are using
I think so, yeah.
Snapchat camera.
That's one thing about
Yeah,
all
it's
social media.
More than the
It's all social media platforms. Every single app, they all focus on one thing, it's user experience. If you make the user more happy, you'll get more views. That's the whole equation. And on all websites, all apps.
On these good words, I want to thank you both for being so open with us today, for sharing your tips and all your insights really, and to the whole room for coming and for listening in. Thank you so much, everybody.